welcome to the Just Another Castle podcast. I'm your host, Matt, and with me this week are...
Eli, I am right here.
I'm Mike, and I still forget I have to do the intro every time because this is awkward. Matt, just next time, just say my name. All right, that's it. Commanding it next
Say
time.
my name. Say my name.
Well, I had a different connotation after the last conversation we had, but moving along to our final guest.
I'm just going to say I'm Mike, and then I'll change my voice a little bit and be like, hi, I'm Unoclay. And then I'll be like, hey, I'm Mike, I hate Diddy Kong, or something like Mike-ish to say. So, which isn't...
But I love Diddy Kong.
I know. If you're not going to do your intro, I'm going to be like, I love Galaxy, and I hate Diddy Kong, and life is beautiful, and I hate New York.
Oh, gosh. So a little bit of an update. We did try to record a podcast last week, because we missed the last couple of weeks. But I didn't check and the dumb thing didn't record, so that kind of got screwed over. So the first time I legitimately postponed it because I knew there was going to be news coming out that week. So I'm like, there was nothing to talk about that week. And then the next week, I got home too late and we weren't able to record. And then last week it was screwed up, so that last one falls on me. One other announcement before we get into news and discussions and whatnot is I have an internship. I don't know why I had a problem saying that. So this podcast might go up like a day later or something, just because I have to wake up and all this other stuff, being responsible.
And you have to make other people coffee.
No, thankfully not. In fact, someone got me a coffee today.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, last week's podcast that got lost, the lost episode, it will henceforth be known, was a really good one. So can we quickly do a review of last week's podcast? What did you guys think? It was great?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say since no one else knows.
I give it a 7 out of 10.
It was pretty good.
Eli, how'd you feel about it? You weren't there.
I was actually telecommunicating telepathically with Mike at the time, so I know how well it went.
Oh,
I heard it.
Yeah,
I heard the whole conversation.
It was a top tier podcast. Me and Eli, we have a Professor X kind of connection. So that's how we do.
Top tier. So that's a teaser for the lost episode someday when Matt's computer spits it back out. So there you go, people. Something to wait for.
Yeah, good luck. It'll be named the Lost Top Tier. Something along those lines. More catchy.
All right, so I guess we'll get into what we've been playing. I finally just beat Bayonetta 1 last night, and I don't really feel any different than I did a couple of weeks ago or whenever when I first started playing it. It's okay, but if you have both Bayonetta 1 and 2, play the first one, and then just play the second one, because the second one is 10 times better. Or just play the second one and forget the first one, because the second one is just so much better. The first one, most of the weapons are slow, and they're so slow that there's not really a point in using them, because you can't get that many attacks in, and the power they deal isn't enough or worth it. In the second one, you can get enough magic and do these super crazy attacks, whereas in the first one you only get a torture attack, which only affects one enemy, which isn't really necessary because they're easy to kill. So the second one's just better. So if you have any interest in playing both, just play the first one and the second, or just play the second, whatever. And the other thing I played was the Pokemon app on my iPad. And it's the trading card game, and I never actually played the trading card game when it came out in the 90s. I just collected the cards because they look cool, and that was pretty much it. I don't even know anyone who actually played the trading card game, but it's actually quite a bit of fun. There's actually quite a bit of there's actually quite a bit of depth to it. Not surprisingly, I guess, because Pokemon itself has a lot of depth to it, but I know it's a lot of fun. It's definitely
the Game Boy one was I don't know, is it the same? You get to play as a trainer and get to fight other leaders and there's a rival? That's how it was in the Pokemon, the Game Boy one with the black cartridge.
I didn't play that, but basically there's a bunch of trainer challenges which are kind of like what you said. You fight CPUs and you just get a couple of treasures here and there and unlock some more cards.
Oh no, I meant there's like a story in the Game Boy.
Oh no,
one. It's pretty. Oh, okay, because then there's like a Final Four, and then you get like every time you'd win, you get more like different packs and all that. It was pretty fun. Like, and then the best part of the game was it actually had dash, so you could hold B and you could speed through everywhere. And I'm like, why doesn't Pokemon have this? And then it took them like 30,000 years later, and they made rollerblades.
Yeah, it doesn't have that. They do have like 30 challenges to like fight CPU trainers, but after that it's basically all online stuff. But I don't know, I thought it was a lot of fun. If you like Pokemon, you'll most likely like the app because it's pretty similar. I played Hearthstone because that's another trading card game that, I guess the trading card game, whatever, that a lot of people are playing and getting hooked on. And I don't know, I played 2 or so hours of it compared to Pokemon, which I probably put in like 10 or something. I don't really like it as much because all of your monsters die within a few turns, whereas Pokemon, you have to plan out. It's a longer game, so you have to plan out your moves for the long game. Whereas Hearthstone, it's like, okay, well, this guy's going to die in 3 turns. It's just a clashing of ideals, short games versus longer games. So I guess it depends what you like and whatnot. But I don't know, it's free, so might as well check it out. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Or not check it out if you're not into playing on a gamepad. I already made that point last week in the last episode, but
it's a card game.
Come on, man, telling same jokes. Oh wait, Eli wouldn't know.
Beating in the last episode. Yeah, I hate iPad.
It's new. Blah, blah, blah. Actually, I heard it already through Mike. So
yeah. You know, I want to just run through the last episode. I mean, it was so good. There was Trump was there and freaking, like it was insane. There was just so much going on. And Toad from Mario Kart 64, it was nuts. Like, what a great last episode.
All right, Eli, what have you been playing?
So I got home last week, and I've actually had time for video games, which is like a surprising concept for me as of late. So I went ahead and platinumed Uncharted 1 in 3 days. Which was not Nintendo related, but really surprised me. I'm usually not one to go for platinums. I think I have a total of 10 of them. 3 of them are from the same game, just on different platforms. So I'm kind of surprised that I did, but I played through on crushing difficulty, which is super hard and a pain in the butt. And overall, I'm not the biggest fan of Uncharted. A lot of people think it's like the second coming of, and I don't.
Yeah.
I think Uncharted is like decidedly mediocre. And now I've played through the first, and now I'm replaying the second. I played the second before, and I still think it's meh. But I'm doing it for the platinums at this point. I'm looking to go back to Twilight Princess HD because I still have to beat it. I have like 2 temples left, but I'll probably do that after. Oh, and I played through like 2 hours of Severed on the Vita, which is also not Nintendo related, but the game is really cool. It's like a dungeon crawler, but the gameplay itself is very non-conventional. It really makes use of the Vita. I guess it could work on the 3DS as well. But the touchscreen is just really cool. They turned like combat. The combat is completely touch-based, and it's surprisingly very, very cool. And it's sort of in another game, when you play an action game, different enemies will have different weaknesses, and you have to use up, your different attacks to weaken them down in different ways. But in this game, it's the same sort of thing, except you have to use your finger. And it's hard to explain, but it just works so well, and I love it. I think Severed is really good.
Cool.
So,
yes,
that's what I've been up to.
Speaking of Uncharted, it was the first video game where I played it, and I'm like, I'd rather watch the cutscenes than actually play the game. It was kind of weird. Plus, I didn't think the gameplay was like that amazing. Like, I didn't really care for the controls all that well. So I'm like, yeah, the story is 10 times better than this. Let me just watch it, which is pretty much my main interest in this series.
That's interesting because I've been warned away from ever playing those games because people that know my taste in gaming, I'm more into arcadey Twitch experiences. And I did have someone say to me, like, you'll probably hate it because it's as much a movie as it is a game, and you'll be bored. Is that kind of accurate?
No, definitely not.
So here's the thing. I've thought about it, and the thing is, we're used to, as Nintendo fans, really good gameplay experiences. But even in for example, if you look at Mario, the platforming is really, really tight, but it's also, in a way, it's non-linear. You can play it how you want to play it, and even though the most linear of Mario games are still like, you choose when you want to jump, you choose whatever. In Uncharted, there is platforming, but it's so freaking scripted that I don't even have any fun in it, because sure, it looks cool to make this, this cool jump, but I have no fun in it because I'm literally just pressing my buttons at the right moment. And there's no freedom in that platforming. It's too scripted for me. And
but Eli, sometimes though, it's like, there's a bit of a puzzle towards it, which makes it fun, alright? Like, I love Uncharted because, like, it is like a movie experience, but at the same time, it's like I'm solving the movie with Drake. Like, I played all of them. I haven't bought 4 because I don't have a PS4, but I've wasted my time and platinumed all of them. And I enjoy the combat in it. I enjoy, the platforming. I enjoy, like, the story, like, 90 million times. Like, it's like one of the best experiences. Like, Uncharted 2 is like, I couldn't put it down because I wanted to know what was going on. And then the challenges that would go on would just be a surplus to how good that story was that carried that game.
Speaking of Uncharted 2, I remember, quick, at I think there was a family gathering or whatever, my brother-in-law was over, and I think I rented it or something, and I was playing it, and he wanted me to, like, continue playing it so we could keep, like, watching the story, so I played it for, like, most of the day. It's pretty funny, but...
Yeah, like, it was so good.
That, honestly, though, the reason... That's kind of why I didn't really get too far into Uncharted 3, because I care more for the cuts, like, because I don't care about the gameplay that much, because it doesn't seem that great to me, and I only care about the story. Like, I think I got, like, halfway through, but the story wasn't grabbing me, so I just didn't bother with it. And I might go back to, like, find out what happened in the story just so I can know for when I get Uncharted 4 sometime, but yeah, I don't know. It didn't really.
And this is how we spend the first 10 minutes of a Nintendo podcast.
Let's not pretend we don't do other things.
Yeah, let's not pretend that we don't know what Uncharted is. Come on,
funny story, really quick.
For me, it's not pretending.
Clay actually doesn't know, but
I was gonna say, except for
I don't know. I'm never gonna play that game, so I just want to hear what you guys say about it. So cool.
Well, I have a funny story, really quick. So we have our editor-in-chief of our site, Sean Long, just bought a PS4, and it was such a big deal apparently that there was if you know the site VG Charts, they have a forum, there was like a 40 to 60 post VG Charts thread about him getting a PS4 and how he had betrayed Nintendo faithful.
Jeez.
I support that he has betrayed the Nintendo allegiance. What the heck's he doing, bro?
So we're gonna have to kick off the podcast soon, Unoclay, because literally you're the only one with Nintendo only stuff.
I'll just sit here and talk to myself and be like, and I played my NES this week, and I played my Nintendo this week, and I played my Virtual Boy this week.
Damn it, Clay, throw wood in the fire. Okay. Yo, Clay, come on. We all know you had a PlayStation 1 for, 11 days.
I got a PlayStation 2, not a 1. I got a 2, and it was
wait,
I just wanted a DVD player. Alright, aha. Okay.
Wait, Unoclay, you have betrayed Nintendo. You have a Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Hey.
Those were all given. Those were like. Those were homeless systems that people didn't want, and they were like, I was like, I don't want to throw you in the junk pile. You are a video game technically, even if insufficiently unfun for my tastes. I will play you occasionally. Yeah.
Clay, don't you tell me. 3 Knuckles was on the Sega Genesis as well as Gunstar Heroes, and Sonic 3 Knuckles is like the 3rd best game ever made. Right?
I do have that. I don't agree that it's that great, but it's all right. It's fun. I have that one for the Genesis.
That sounds like some Nintendo biasness right now. Sonic is the coolest. Okay.
Sonic.
So since you're already talking, Mike, what have you been up to?
All right. Well, from the last episode, I mentioned all these games, so they haven't really changed. But might as well spoil that. I just beat Kirby Planet Robobot, so that was pretty epic. I'm not gonna lie. Actually, it's awesome. Maybe. or maybe I hacked my 3DS. We don't know which one's the real answer. But so I'll give you guys a quick rundown. But everything else I'm playing before that, I'm playing some Twilight Princess, but I have the Curse of Clay, so I can't get through right now, and it's affecting my Star Fox Star Fox Zero time, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. So
do that to you, bro. Sorry to curse the game for you.
Yeah. Damn it, Clay. I'm like, wow, I already beat like 4 dungeons too. I can't go on. Clay cursed it. Like every time I'm playing, I can just hear Clay like, it's boring. I'm like,
man, that makes me worried the next time I go back and play Galaxy 2, which is an incredibly fun game.
Oh no, the game is poop.
Hey,
right? When you play that game, you're gonna be like, wow, what happened between Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2? And you're gonna be like, oh yeah, Miyamoto should have retired because he can't make games anymore.
Unoclay, you're worried about Uncharted being linear. Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Galaxy 2 is like,
man.
At least I can choose when I want to jump.
That's pretty much
other than that, I'm playing Paper Jam, Mario Luigi Paper Jam, which I finally got to because I beat Project Cross Zone 2. Paper Jam's pretty awesome. I'm gonna say the battle mechanics are probably one of the best. I mean, none of them could be Superstar Saga. I mean, we can't live up to perfection of a Mario RPG, but it's pretty funny. I mean, it seems pretty short or quick. I don't know. I'm like 23 hours in, which is not short, but for an RPG and for those kind of like, I guess it's kind of short. Like, there's not as much material as Dream Team and Superstar Saga. I don't mention the 2 in between it because they're crap, but those games are also games. And then so Kirby Planet Robobot, it's I'm gonna say, I don't want to say it's like Triple Deluxe. It's kind of built off the same, it's built off the same engine, which is aka Return to Dreamland style. There's a lot more 3D in the game. I'm not gonna lie, like they've used a lot more camera angles to kind of really like emphasize 3D and two different planes. There's actually even a mini game, Kirby 3D, which is a legit 3D Kirby game, which is really cool. I mean, it's only 3 levels. It's worth like 5% if you're going for 100%. It's not too much to worry about, but I do recommend playing it. The robot is actually really cool. It's super fluid. It's really like what I mentioned last time. It's like Mega Man X. Like when Mega Man jumps in when X jumps in the robot, nothing really changes. Like the speed is still there. The jump mechanics, like it doesn't really hinder. He's not clunky. It's not slow. It copies a lot of abilities. It copies every ability. I don't think I've copied every ability because the game kind of dictates when you're in the robot which abilities to copy because it's hinting towards like, oh, which cube do you need, have to get all the parts. It's like this one is more recommended. That's why there's 2 rock enemies right now versus a spark enemy. There's about 5 new powers in the game. I'd say my favorite is definitely ESP, which is really cool. It's like the side power like from NES, except it's not NES. It's Nintendo. You wear his hat. It's kind of overpowered. I recommend it. If you're going to play the game, definitely use that one when you're fighting a lot of the bosses. The final boss is kind of cool. There's a lot of 2D ships, side-scrolling things, which is kind of cool. It only happens in 2 or 3 levels when you, get the jet power, another new one. If the robot copies the jet, you get to do a 2D, plane fighting level, which I think this game, like, I had a lot more fun than Triple Deluxe, but at the same time, like, it was, like, it's a Kirby game. Yeah, it's simple, it's easy, but this game's got an awesome soundtrack. It's super fun, and, I think whoever's gonna buy or is looking forward to it's not gonna be disappointed.
Nice. Yeah, it just looks like a better Triple Deluxe, because in Triple Deluxe, the main draw was just, you can suck harder, at certain times for puzzle reasons, but this is like, hey, you have like...
Sounds like every Kirby game, am I right?
Yeah, actually, this one's a lot of dialogue. It was like 64-esque dialogue, how much was in it.
I like how Uno only plays Nintendo and he like cuts out half of the Nintendo exclusive, like no Pokemon for him, no Kirby for him.
Hey, you gotta be selective around here, buddy.
But yeah, it seems like a better Triple Deluxe with the mechs being more interesting.
You're gonna love it. Like, honestly, the story's cool too. Like the story's like, it's not just like, it's usual, Kirby's gotta save Planet Popstar, but it's like, it's nice to have like enemies who have like text dialogue you get to read, and Kirby's just like, what the hell, I don't talk, I'm just gonna kick her ass. And then you just kick her ass, and they're like, no!
Yeah,
what's
more story than just, someone stole my strawberry shortcake and now I have to kick their ass.
What's the difficulty level of this game? How would you rank it? Like easy, hard, medium? What would you say?
It's no Kirby 64 Amazing Mirror. It's a little bit harder than Triple Deluxe, which wasn't that hard, and it's still under Return to Dreamland. So it's like I'd say an average Kirby game. I mean, there was only like one puzzle I kept botching because I'm an idiot, and I'm like, wow, I'm a dumbass. And then like I only had to play one level 3 times. Every other level I ran through clean. So.
Cool. So Unoclay, what have you been playing for the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I'll just kind of go over what most recent because it's what's on my mind. I played some Smash against 2 members of this podcast in the past week. Nice. And Eli would be one of the people I didn't. And I'll leave the
one of the people that you.
Yeah.
See how it is.
I'll leave the listeners to guess. Like one of the people. We had some great matches, kind of were balanced. We kind of trade off like wins and losses. And then one of the people beat me like I could make a really inappropriate metaphor here, but for the sake of the listeners, I won't. He beat me badly so much that I had that post-Smash depression where you just like take the controller, like put it in the closet. Like I'm never going to play this game again because it's not going anywhere. Like it's not you. It's we got to quit this relationship. Like we got to just like never talk about this again, and like cry a little bit and talk to your wife about how you feel like a failure. And she's like, no, really, I think you're great when you do PK Fire with that little boy game, character, and then you get back on your horse and you're like, I don't even play NES. I don't know what you're talking about, but what? So
good man, that guy must be a jerk, man.
No, he was painful. He was like doing loop-de-loops around the stage with that Mewtwo character. It was ridiculous. I was just like, my God, I'm out of my league here. But besides that, I got some good tips. So,
and then you came on and played against me and beat me. So you redeemed yourself.
I was warmed up. I was all mad. I was like,
that's the Smash life, man. Up and down, dude.
Plus it was 2 in the morning. Like it wasn't a really fair match. It was 2 a.m. You were like trying to beat Bayonetta, and I'm like, let's play some Smash, and you're like, all right. So, you can get a rematch anytime you want. So,
I wasn't playing Bayonetta.
Yeah. Oh, weren't you that night? Oh, I thought you were. Okay. Right on. My bad. But anyhow, so other things I've been playing besides the ups and the downs of the Smash world. There was a flea market this weekend, so I got some new NES tapes for my collection. I call them tapes because I'm from the 80s. I got a really horrible game nobody should ever play in their whole lives called Castle Quest, but I got it because it was like $3 and it was funny looking, and I was like, I don't remember that one. And there's a reason, because it's terrible. The only funny part about it is in Japanese, the title of the game is like excellent castle or great castle game or something like that. And it's such a lie. It's embarrassing. It's like the worst, but it is one of those like 1986 games where you're like, this is barely a game. Like it's this is people trying to figure out how to program, and they put it and shipped it, So Castle Quest, forget it. I got a game I've always wanted to play since I was a kid called Karnov, which is a terrible name for a video game, like a lot of those 80s games are, but it's a Data East arcade game that was translated to the NES. I had heard it was terrible. It's actually not the worst if you're into retro gaming. It's people who play arcade games from the 80s will remember it. Again, it's called Karnov with a K. You're a fat, dopey circus performer guy who can breathe fireballs. He looks kind of like Zangief from Street Fighter a little bit. He jumps like a stone. It's got terrible physics, but it's kind of a fun game. Did play a little bit of that last night for a couple hours, and surprisingly found it entertaining. Old heads will remember it maybe. And then the more modern thing I played this week was because Super Meat Boy came out for Wii U, and I have a big interest in platformers and stuff like that, so I've been waiting for that one to come to Wii U, so I was psyched. Downloaded that, and I played through about 60 levels so far, whatever, like they're really short. So they're really short. They're like, like some of the levels take you like 30 seconds, some take you 10 minutes because you get really stuck. But
well, I mean, I don't even think I beat the first boss. I think it's like the dinosaurs chasing you.
Yeah.
I got to there, and then I just like gave up.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like super particularly good at platformers, but they are a specialty of mine. So like, I have tenacity, if nothing else. Like 1001 Spikes, I proudly can say I have not beat yet, but I'm probably within like 20 boards of beating that game, and that game is one of the hardest games I've ever played. So, Super Meat Boy is not nearly on that level so far. Like, it's not even close to as hard as 1001 Spikes. So, I like it. It's fun. It's got good controls, you know? You guys like that game?
Is Super Meat Boy the sequel, or is there only one?
There's just one. Yeah.
Okay, well, you know what? You made me forget that I forgot that I mentioned the secret.
I don't think they put out any other games. They're working on, like, Mugenics or whatever the other one's called, but...
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Eli, I actually got Shovel Knight, and I actually played it. I was like,
whoa!
Yeah, I know. Shocking news to all. And I was like...
Another episode nugget that we forgot to mention here.
Yeah, nobody would believe it, though. Like, yo, Clay, like, even before you, like, were even born, like, these two guys were trying to convince me to play Shovel Knight. I was like, man, that is some indie trash, bro. I ain't paying for indie crap. And then they were like, bro, you gotta play it, son. You like Mega Man? I was like, yeah. And they're like, do you like digging with shovels? I was like, bro, I'm all about that life. And they're like, oh. And I was like, they're like, yo, there's this Mega Man digging game, and he's a Blue Knight. I was like, all right, let me see this shit. But, yeah, no, I finally played it. I mean, it's a really super short game, so I'm kind of glad it was gifted to me. Yeah, and I was like, wow, this game is Mega Man, but it was way cleaner. Like, to be honest, like, there's a super quick summary because this game's super old. Soundtrack was awesome. I thought, like, it was a pretty good homage to Mega Man and old 8-bit platformers. Wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be, but it was an amazingly fun game, and I want to see if they're going to ever make another one because it seems like there's a lot of missed opportunities in the game, or, like, there's more questions than answers or more characters than, like, there's like a whole universe, and it's like, hey, here's the simplest story possible. So I hope they do make a sequel.
They're at least making some DLC campaigns with characters for free, so that definitely adds more to it. But I
mean, like,
they said they're interested in doing like a Super Shovel Knight or an N64 type of Shovel Knight, so they definitely have interest. But whether they do that as their next game or not is undetermined. But they
I mean, if they could Super Mario 64 DS with like the different style knights and say they made it like a 3D platformer but each of them play different, that'd be pretty cool. But it's just because I'm Super Mario 64 biased. Mm-hmm. But onwards, let's get to news.
Oh, no, you should play now that you finished that. Guacamelee, because I gave that to you as well.
Guacamelee is a great game. Yeah, you should play that.
It's short.
I don't really.
It's shorter
than.
Of
or cheese kind of guy, but all right, I'll put it on my tips. I'll take the recommendation.
It's shorter than Shovel Knight. It's like 5 hours long, and knowing you'll probably beat it in like 3. But it's really good. Like, the combat
mechanics. Yeah. It's got way more sophisticated combat mechanics than Shovel Knight. You'll find it fun because it's
like a fighting game platformer.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I mean, I've got the time now. Yeah. On a side note, Eli, did you get that Vita game Severed?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier.
Okay, I missed that because the dog was barking at me and I had to mute it, and I was like, because I'm not home. But yeah, I was gonna ask you one quick thing: is it closer to Guacamelee, or is it completely unique, or does it kind of seem like a phone app that's Fruit Ninja? That's all I need to know.
The only thing that makes it like Guacamelee is the fact that it's kind of Metroidvania. Like, you get new abilities, so you have to go. You can backtrack if you want to pick up stuff you missed.
Oh, there is platforming in it then, and stuff.
No, but there's no. But other than that, no. There's no platforming. Other than that one mechanic, nothing. It's very, very different. Combat is completely different. It's a dungeon crawler, so you move using the D-pad and then you fight using the touchscreen. But it's very good. It's really good. I'm really happy with it. It's kind of hard to explain, as I said earlier, but
yeah, I figured I didn't understand it from my commercials and all the other stuff, and I was like, is this game like Fruit Ninja with an Indian lady or something? And then now it's just
I mean,
if people were like, no, there's dungeon crawling. I'm like, yeah, okay, I've never seen that, but now I get it.
Cool. So
yeah, it's good.
I guess we'll move on to some announcements. Zelda Phantom Hourglass, which honestly isn't that great, is coming to Wii U if you want to play that. The 2DS is getting a price cut from $100 to $80. Minecraft is getting a Mario pack with like these huge inspired worlds from like multiple games in the Mario series and costumes and whatnot. I don't really care for Minecraft. I bought it a couple of years ago and I just didn't really get into it. But if you do like Minecraft, what they've done is really cool. It's not just this shoddily put out like quick garbage. It's like they actually put a lot of effort into it. So definitely check it out if you have Minecraft, and you probably already have at this point.
That Super Mario pack now, man. I actually want Minecraft because of it. That's how good it is, guys. I'm telling you. I hate Minecraft, but when they put up that pack, I'm such a Nintendo drone. I was like, I had my credit card ready and I was gonna buy it.
Oh my gosh. Citizens of Earth was removed from the eShop. Basically, hackers used it to run their own code, which I guess has a potential for pirating and whatnot. So they removed that off the eShop like they did with another game a while ago. I don't know if the other one was even put back up, but this one, Atlas, is working on trying to bring it back on the store at some point. And I bring this up because the Nintendo Humble Bundle, which finished like a week or so ago, this was one of the games that was on the list. And unlike the other games, it forced you to choose if you want a Wii U code or a 3DS code. It didn't actually give you both for whatever reason. So if you chose a 3DS code and you haven't downloaded it
because that game is selling like such hotcakes.
Yeah. So
I'm sure it would have lost on so many sales.
Yeah, I know, really. So if you had a 3DS code and haven't downloaded it, you're kind of screwed until they fix that, unfortunately. I don't know. The game has like a lot of bugs, so...
Yeah, that's all I'd ever heard about it, that it was a really buggy, like, Earthbound type of game, you know? And
it was like an Earthbound... There were, first of all, there were two big issues. First of all, there were way too many enemies. Like, and they would run at you, no matter, like, they were, whatever. And the other issue was there were, I think I had my game crash on me probably 15 times. So it was like a ludicrous amount of bugs. Really cool, though, the idea.
Too bad.
Yeah, especially since no one has really made like an Earthbound game at all. Like, it's cool to see someone try to like pick up the slack and be like, "Hey, no one's made this before. Let's go back and try to make this a reality."
Everybody, isn't it the popular thing to say? Everyone say that Undertale is like Earthbound sequel that isn't.
It's not. How dare you talk about Undertale? It's terrible. All right, how dare you mention that in the game at all?
That's just what people say. I
don't know. You're in the minority. I mean, that game probably has like a 95 on Metacritic or something. Everyone loved it.
It's one of the games I've ever played in my life. Okay, it's not even. I don't even know how people consider it a game. All right, that game is such bullshit and it's stupid fan base. All right, one, it's not like Earthbound at all. Okay, its battle system is not even as good as that. All right, it's not even a game. That's how bad it is. It's not even a game. The only thing it's got is a soundtrack. Everything else, a terrible community, overrated piece of shit story. All right, with all crappy ass characters. You know why people like this game? Because it's like a fake Five Nights at Freddy where it has a deeper lore with its actual main story. And it's so freaking stupid. You don't understand how much I hate that game. You don't. All right, I wasted my time playing that trap. I didn't even say crap.
And he returns to his roots with bashing on the games that everyone likes.
I don't know. To be fair, it seems I haven't played the game, and I don't really have a bias towards or against it. But I have seen some rabid fans of this series go like crazy with lore, like Five Nights at Freddy's. So I think there's something to what Mike is saying, that it could be popular because people have put so much emphasis on the lore that kind of skyrocketed the game
for wrong reasons, though. Like for things that shouldn't affect the game. Like they're like and I don't want to mention them because they're kind of controversial, but I'm that kind of guy. It's like, who cares if the developer is gay or there's lesbian ass things in it, you know, or like it's like this furry ass bullshit. Like the fact that people put that as more importance than over, like, first off, the gameplay is not good. And second, the story is overrated. And the fact that you have to, like, if a story's alright and you have to make a deeper lore to make it seem better, it does not make the main story good. Like, I mean, if you, I don't know, like, I would say you guys should play it, but at the same time, like, I would, like, you guys should play it. It's really that bad. I tried so hard, and when I finally got through, I was like, wow, I think the game's picking up, and it never did. It was just terrible. I didn't enjoy any time. And when I beat it through, I was like, alright, I'm glad I had to, like, finish it myself. Like, I would get tired, man. I would be playing at 9 o'clock. I would legitimately be tired, and I would go to bed after playing it for 30 minutes. Yeah. Like, it drained me because it was not fun.
And I think some of your problems, Mike, are from the fan base itself, because I heard some, not rumors, but whatever, fan theories and whatnot, And I read an interview about the guy who made the game, and it was actually a pretty interesting interview because the interviewer would ask him like all these specific questions, and he's like, no, I just did this because I felt like it. There's no real reason. If you can draw whatever conclusion you want from it, but I didn't really like make it to have this lore or this really intricate story. So it was kind of interesting to see a developer go, nah, I just did it for shits and giggles, or for just because I felt like it. Like he made things purposely vague, not because of any like real crazy reason. He's just like, yeah, I want to make it vague and just for the heck of it. I was like, oh, this is cool. He's just kind of telling it as it is rather than like a whole PR pitch or anything.
Just because everyone just like overblew it. Like it's insane, man. Like, and like that crowd is like vicious, dude. Like I think there was like a thing on like did you know gaming did Undertale, and like the whole YouTube comment section was like poison, and then they did that whole thing where it beat out Ocarina of Time for like greatest game ever because like they all rated, you know. Yeah. It was like they did like a whole competition. Like there's legit games in there, like a lot of them. Like it ran past all of them. Like it ran past like Sonic 3, it ran past like Half-Life, like Super Mario 64. Like it would like beat it with insane numbers. And I was like, all right, this is getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add that for the sake of objectivity, since Metacritic was brought up, it's currently sitting at 92 on Metacritic. But Super Mario Galaxy 2 is actually at 97, so it's not as good as Galaxy.
Yeah, well,
it needs a 9.7 out of 100.
I mean, Galaxy 2, Miyamoto had to pay everybody off. That's why Nintendo got losses, man. All right, because that game is so bad and everyone's duped. You know what's also up there? Skyward Trap. I mean, crap. I can't even say it because it's so bad. All right. So if you look at if you think Metacritic has the right score, then Clay, I'm gonna have to smack you up, man. That's it.
It's funny because I thought both those games were great.
No, Eli, no more opinions from you. That's it. Go review some
I would say Skyward's flawed, but the Galaxy thing I just bring up because I ain't gonna let it go. That game's awesome, man. But hey, agree to disagree. Let's agree to disagree because we could waste the next hour talking about this.
Right,
you guys are killing me inside right now. I'm dying.
One thing I want to lastly say about Undertale is I'm not going to say it's a bad game or a good game or whatever because I haven't played it, so I'm not going to hold anything against it. But I do find it weird that when IGN reviewed it, I don't even know if I read all of the review. I at least read some of it, but the person writing it, I don't want to give names or whatever, you can look it up for yourself, was basically gave a lot of negative points to the game, like the art is ugly and there's, I don't know if there's bugs, but there's like all these like a bunch of problems, but it still gets like a 10 out of 10. It's like, what? You just listed like way too many problems for it to be that high of a score, and yet you did it anyway. It's like, it seemed very biased, and I think a lot of people got caught up in, I guess, the hype of it all. But moving on, or somewhat moving on, so besides Citizens of Earth being removed, Project X Zone, the first game, was removed from the eShop. Oh crap!
And I sent Bandai Namco an email to figure out why, and they never got back to me.
Yeah, so at first you wouldn't be able to re-download it. Okay, I was going to bring it up because when it first broke, you couldn't re-download it even if you bought the game, which is bullshit, because if you paid money and they're taking it down, you should either be able to re-download it or get a refund. But apparently, you can re-download it. Let me just read this for a second. You can re-download it from your list of re-downloadable software. So if you did buy it, you can still re-download it, but it's not available anymore if you wanted to outright buy it, which is weird. I don't know why they would take it down. I mean, obviously, all the companies have some sort of legal connections, fine, or else they, wouldn't go through with the second one, right? Like, or make it in the first place. So it's kind of weird to see that happen. But moving along, Pokken Tournament has sold more copies than Street Fighter V on PS4, at least in the retail space, because I don't think we actually get digital numbers, which is not so good, because I think Pokken Tournament sold like, what was it, Eli, like 100,000 units or 300,000?
Yeah, Something like that. No, it was probably around 150.
Yeah.
It was number 7 on the MPD, I think. And that was in the US, though. I think it sold another 100,000 in Japan.
Okay.
And most of their money is probably coming in from the arcade units, to be honest.
This was just really weird to hear because PS4 is like over 20 million units. I don't know. It's probably like almost 30 million,
40.
right?
40 million, they just hit it.
It has 4 times the user base than the Wii U, and yet the Wii U games sold more. And Street Fighter is actually like a giant brand. So that's really surprising to hear.
Yeah, well, the only thing, to be fair, first of all, Street Fighter apparently had a bunch of problems. A lot of people have problems with it being incomplete at launch, stuff like that. But the other thing is, when you deprive people of games for so long, and then you add a game that starts with Pokemon, people will come. I think it's more, maybe if we had as many games as the PS4 did, it wouldn't have sold as well.
Yeah. It's still crazy to hear. Pokemon Go is field testing. Pokemon Go, the registration for field testing in the U.S. is opening this month. So if you're any bit interested in getting in early, you can register and they might choose you. And lastly, for things announced this week was Yokai Watch 2 is coming September 30th this year. So I don't know how big of a difference there is from the first to the second, but if you were interested in the first,
I mean, it's like a new Pokemon game. New creatures, new region, new story, obviously. Except, like Pokemon, there will be 2 versions of the game.
And speaking of Pokemon, we actually got a lot of Pokemon Sun and Moon news this week from actually. I don't remember. Yeah, Junichi Masuda was just like, yeah, watch on YouTube tomorrow because there's going to be something big. We're like, what the crap? And then they just released all this stuff. So there's new starters. There's an owl, a kitten, and a sea lion. There's a new region that's based on Hawaii, which looks pretty cool. New legendaries like a lion and a bat. It looks like customization is back from X and Y with your trainer character, and some of the screenshots had like different clothes, or at least slightly different colors. And they're not chibi sized anymore. They have human proportions, and the game just looks more fluid. There's more
looks
3D
like they know what
movement
they're doing.
And stuff. Yeah, it looks like an upgrade from X and Y at the very least. So I know Unoclay isn't into Pokemon, and Mike is pretty much not really interested in the series anymore, but I guess for a couple of minutes, Eli and myself will talk. So, Eli, what do you think of the new trailer?
I think the trailer looked cool in terms of the features that the game will have in the presentation of it. Mm-hmm. But I'm sorry, those Pokemon look silly. I like the fire-type Pokemon. Gosh, I don't even remember what the name was.
Litten.
But other than that, for me, anyway, I thought the Pokemon just look silly.
Garfield,
the people really liked. I know that people really liked the grass type little bird.
Yeah,
I really couldn't see why people saw it so appealing. I'm just like, it's just another stupid bird. We've got 100 of them, literally. I didn't see the appeal in him, and then the seal just looks silly as well. The legendary didn't look that badass compared to other legendaries. Mm-hmm. I'm skeptical on these Pokemon designs so far, but to be fair, I guess I'm thinking back. Maybe first of all, their evolutions are probably going to be a lot cooler. Mm-hmm. And then second of all, looking back, other generations have had silly Pokemon. I mean, an ice cream cone and a trash can is a Pokemon, for heaven's sake. So.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Apparently, a lot of people.
Wait, I have to counter with that. That was Pokemon Trash and White. I mean, Black and White and Black and White 2. And those are the worst Pokemon games of all time. Right. So yes, of course, they're not the worst Pokemon because those games are shit. That's all I have to say.
Okay. So, yeah, I don't know.
Well, so yes, the 2 out of the 3 starters are lame as shit, but we have a fire type Garfield the cat, alright? So that's all that matters, alright? In Sun and Moon. And it looks like they have cool ultimates. So that's it. That's all we gotta deal with. They could go take their Animal Crossing owl and their dog seal, and they could be like, wow, nobody chose these Pokemon, because they're as bad as Pokemon Black and White.
I'm not a fan of the starter.
Alright, see, yeah, we have people who aren't fans of the starters who've been playing Pokemon since '94. I used to put them in my pocket.
Did they only play in '94 and then the last 20 years they just did nothing?
There's 151 Pokemon anyway. That's it. Alright, by the way, before we keep going, I keep getting bothered, alright, to tell the joke of, you know how everyone wanted Shovel Knight in Smash Bros?
Yeah.
You know, we did get Shovel Knight though.
How?
How's that?
Yeah, don't you guys know?
Nope.
Cloud. He's literally Shovel Knight, alright? If you watch any pro play, like, if you watch Mewtwo King play Cloud, all he does is jump down air. And that's basically what Cloud does. And guess what? If he up airs, it's Shovel Knight. Cloud is Shovel Knight. So whoever has the mod pack, because you can do the texture hacks now in Smash Wii U,
yeah.
just make a Shovel Knight skin, send it to me so I can put it on my Cloud, and I can be like, guys, we all got Shovel Knight. So
wouldn't like, well, yeah, I guess, yeah, I'm thinking, see, for me, it's like Toon Link with his down air. And stuff like that. It's kind of shovelly.
Yeah, like Cloud has it. Double jump, and he doesn't fall too hard, you know? I mean, people do it on Shield. It's really safe. No ending lag. I mean, Cloud is Shovel Knight. But
like, doesn't Villager have a shovel too? He's got like a little hand shovel, you know what I mean? So
no, it's not the same. The movesets that Cloud has is perfect for Shovel Knight. Alright, let's get back to the news. While Clay has his mind blown.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm trying to put it together. I got you. I can go on about that though. That's interesting. But yeah, let's get to some news.
So
you can talk. Matt still had his opinions on Pokemon.
Yeah.
Don't silence him.
I wanted
silence
to say,
all of you.
No, I didn't want to say Chandelure. That's all I got.
Chandelure. It is in Pokken tournament, so yeah, you can't excuse. You have to get it. No excuses. Yeah. So for what I think about Pokemon Sun and Moon, so far it looks interesting. I like the Hawaii setting, like the tropical setting. Legendaries are okay. The lion looks cooler. It's weird that they're like less like animals and more like cosmic beings. I don't know what their excuse for existence is. Like, for all the legendaries, they're like, oh, this one does space, and this one does time, and this one is God, and this one is, I don't know, made earth and water and whatnot, and I have no idea what the heck they'll use for this. It'll be kind of ridiculous to see. But as for the starters, I don't really hate them, but they also look fake to me. They look like someone's fan art, to be honest. I don't know if it's just something to do with the art style or maybe the color scheme or something, because the animals that they chose, I think, are interesting animals for starters. Just the way they looks kind of fake. I don't know. I like the owl, not because the first form is all that interesting, but just the idea of having like an owl, a full-grown owl as a starter sounds really cool to me. The cat I don't really care about because we have a cat in like literally every Pokemon game except... No, I think we have one in every Pokemon game. It just looks like Houndour and Houndoom, which is a Darkfire dog. It's like a Hellhound basically, but this looks like the cat version of that, so I don't really care all that much. And the sea lion I think is kind of cute. I like how it's like a circus type of sea lion, like it fits with the sea lion motif and whatnot. It definitely has a lot more personality than any of the other ones. I don't know if it'll have a interesting final evolution or if it's going to be stupid or not, but I guess we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I don't know. There's not a whole lot about the game yet, and Korokoro supposedly is supposed to get information, which they do and don't. They'll hype something up and it'll be like, look at someone's shoelace. So who knows if we'll actually get more information from them next month or whatever. But it looks interesting so far, and it's a Pokemon game, so I'm pretty psyched, but I'm not won over yet. I mean, there's not a lot shown, so I can't really hold too much against it. But yeah. So moving on. There were a couple of rumors over the last couple of years about Nintendo making movies. So there was one about a Zelda TV show with, I think, some Game of Thrones writers or something like that. That was going to be live action or possibly animated it was kind of no one could really tell. Then there was the Sony email leaks, which leaked a bunch of movies, including some plans to get a Mario movie, a Mario animated movie going with Avi Arad, which I think worked on Wreck-It Ralph or something else like that. So there have been a couple of rumors about Nintendo movies over the years, but Kimishima came out to say that they're actually looking into movies. And it's an official statement from them. So there's some caveats to it. They want to do most of it in-house, and they say that because the Super Mario movie did so poorly. Well, not that it did poorly, but it was such a poorly made movie that they don't want that kind of thing to happen again. So they want to do it mostly in-house. It sounds like they want to stick mostly with animated, as in CG, or a cartoon/anime type of look, like 2D. They're aware people want a Zelda movie, so I thought that was interesting. They actually brought it up just to, I guess, get people.
The Star Fox promotion is probably the best example going right now. I mean, they could probably continue on something like that. I mean, they can't make like a Smash Bros. Anime. Like, that was really cool, but there's no way they could continue with that. But I can see like a Kid Icarus anime or a Star Fox kind of like show.
Hey,
you know?
They could do a Justice League Unlimited sort of thing where it's like you look at a couple of characters each episode. Like you have a different cast of characters and it goes like back and forth or something. I don't know. I'm sure they could do something interesting with that. There's so much to Smash Brothers, but yeah, like the Kid Icarus Uprising shorts, like those were really well done. So there's definitely room for them to do stuff, and they have already done like TV shows before with Kirby and Mario and Zelda and whatnot. So there's already a precedent for them doing it. It's how much more will they do it, and if they'll actually make like full length movies versus just TV shows. And they also listed that selling the Seattle Mariners will go into funding investments like making movies and whatnot, as well as other things besides video games for them to branch out in other avenues, because they've said before they want to get their IP out there known to other people than just video games, so that they see it in another product and then they say, oh, this is cool, and look up like the video games and might get interested. But what do you think on Nintendo making movies now that they've like officially said they're interested, at least in some capacity?
It can't go worse than the first time they tried it. So true. I personally think they won't be for me, so my comments are almost irrelevant. If it helps them build their brand back up with a new generation and sell systems, I'm in favor of that. But like, I don't even like comic book movies. I can't tolerate them anymore. Like only the best ones, like really, that I'm even mildly interested in anymore. So for me, it's like, I love you, Nintendo, but I have a feeling these wouldn't be aimed in my direction. They aren't going to be Pixar level sophistication. They're going to be.
I don't know. I am hoping for Pixar level sophistication. Imagine if they made like an Animal Crossing game. I mean, I don't know if you've seen, or a movie. I don't know if you've seen Zootopia, but that movie was stellar. And, I think that Disney, Pixar, and DreamWorks make really good movies that appeal to everyone, and I'm really hoping that Nintendo, with its eye for prestige quality products, minus these last 2 years on the Wii U, will put together, movies that are genuinely good. Now, who knows? Maybe their Japanese side is going to take over and it's just going to be super cheesy, in which case it won't be for us. But I'm genuinely hopeful, and that's why their thing about doing them in-house scares me a little bit.
Yeah, they're not going to pay the money it takes to get a Pixar to do it for you, where it's going to be someone telling them, hey, this is dumb. Like it needs to be a little more brainy for a wider audience.
I mean, and I want to talk about, cause like it's like Star Fox, for example. Nobody's going to tell Miyamoto that what he comes up with isn't okay. And I wish that someone, while he was developing Star Fox, was just like, Miyamoto, this is not okay. This isn't going to go. You're going to have a 65 on Metacritic like you have right now. People, it's going to be very divisive. Maybe some people, like I wish someone was there to be like, Miyamoto, you can't just do whatever the hell you want. It's got to work.
Miyamoto is the worst, and he ruins all the games now.
No, I think he does a good job in a lot of things, but he's unrestrained, and I think that's a little bit of a problem in today's day and age.
All you have to do is just say Paper Mario Sticker Star, Mario Galaxy 2, and Skyward Sword, and then it's like and then you say, hey, Project Giant Robot, and you go, hey, let's laugh and put that at Star Fox Guard because that is terrible, and Miyamoto is terrible. Alright? He made Super Mario 64. That's nice. He ruined everything. He's been ruining everything since 2007. 2008. That's after Galaxy.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think that, so I do think that I'm afraid with their movie doing in-house, let's say Miyamoto, he did the Pikmin shorts, and I never watched them, so I have no idea if they're good or not.
I was actually going to bring that up. I actually really like them, but there is a difference between making a short and an animated movie, because a short can...
Yeah, they're cute, but short. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can have a short, quick story and make it look great, but having like a long hour and a half narrative, that takes more effort, of course.
Yeah,
so
see what happened to Tim and Eric when Tim and Eric went from being sketch comedians to making a full movie. God, it was the worst idea they ever had in their lives. Keep it short, guys. Come on. Sorry, random tangent.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at the Pikmin 3 shorts as a way to show they could do something good in-house because they have before, and if you like their games, it's basically the cutscenes in a way, I guess you could say. I don't know. I think TV shows would probably be best because you could have half-hour shows or 2 15-minute shows and have really quick episodes not churned out, but it's a lot easier to make shorter stories more consistently than one big narrative that's supposed to keep people interested for that long. So I don't know. They'll probably go back and forth with TVs and movies, but I think TV is probably would work better for a lot of their shows or a lot of their games. But I don't know. There's only a handful of games that would actually work for big movies like Zelda or Metroid because you have they're about long experiences, whereas I don't know, Kirby and Pikmin and Mario and stuff could really be wrapped up in 30-minute episodes.
Well, yeah, but once again, the same problem. They got to make sure that someone's there being okay, this is way too cheesy, this won't work, or keeping the people in check. Oh, this is way too childish, whatever. Mm-hmm. So
who knows? They could do something along the lines of Wreck-It Ralph with Smash Bros-esque, where they jump into, I don't know, different Nintendo games of some kind and mix their worlds together in some way, and then they might have I don't know, references to some older games like weird NES games and jump in for a couple of seconds and have some fun with that. So
it was better than Wreck-It Ralph. I didn't even make it through it. Ugh,
what?
My God. Yeah, I said as long as Wreck-It Ralph, I didn't even make it through it. I got so bored.
Damn, I love that movie.
Yeah, I was out on that one. For me, it's I don't know, video game movies are the worst usually. Scott Pilgrim was the only one that comes to mind ever that was an actually good movie where I was pumped about the video game-ness of the movie. But that's just me. Hey, I can be the Mike movie hater of the group here, and be oh, they all suck, they all are garbage, I hate them. So, But I'm interested to see, but it's really going to depend. There's a lot to be known yet. This has just been announced, so fast forward 3 years and we can all vote on whether it was good or bad.
Yeah. And then the last thing I wanted to bring up was Disney Infinity not only closed down their Disney Infinity figures, but they're closing down Disney Interactive, Avalanche Studios, and basically their whole gaming division entirely. And they're only going to focus on licensing. So they're closing down everything. And they said even from closing down all of these gaming businesses and whatnot that they have, they'll still take a $147 million hit, which is insane. I'm guessing Disney Infinity didn't sell enough for them to continue with it, especially when they have so many other properties that make more money. They don't really need to keep it. Unfortunately, 300 jobs were lost, and Disney's only really going to focus on publishing games. So you'll still have Disney games, obviously, because they're not going to stop that. So you'll have like your Battlefront, which the sequel was already announced, I think. So they'll still like license out their properties and whatnot. But as for them actually making anything, that stopped. But I wanted to bring it up because they are closing their Toys to Life line, and I want to see what you guys thought. Does this mean something for Amiibo? Could it make it like easier for Nintendo with less competition? Where does this put like the Toys to Life genre, or is this, really just more of a Disney problem than the other Toys to Life? Like possibly.
I think they oversaturated the market. I just think they oversaturated their market, and it has nothing to do with Amiibo. Amiibo is like really specific to nerdy Nintendo fans.
Well, I meant like it's still part of the Toys to Life thing, right?
Right.
There's Disney Infinity, there's Skylanders, Amiibo, and Lego Dimensions.
Yeah, I think the market's pretty saturated, and they're getting at, well, the getting's good, maybe. And I just don't think Nintendo's like cart is like attached to that horse, really. It's like Nintendo's Amiibo are gonna not sell as well now that they're not as exclusive, and they're not, they've got to like prove what we want the new ones for. The Smash collection is the main attraction for people like me. I don't know, I don't think them shutting it down really says a lot about Nintendo's futures. Nintendo has to figure out how to harness it the best. 'Cause like I've been playing that free to download Amiibo game that they released, which is cool. It's a cool add-on that they made for Amiibo. And as long as you have Amiibo, you can now play it, you can get it, and that's it. It's like they gave you a free game. It's March of the Minis. If you want to play a March of the Minis game, you got a free one as long as you have one Amiibo. Even if you don't have an Amiibo, you can play it. I think they give you a free Amiibo if you want to play it.
Yeah,
they give you.
If you put down a random Amiibo, you'll have like a blocky character. I forget what it's called.
Yeah,
it's like
but you have to have one Amiibo. You'd have to have one Amiibo.
Well, yeah,
at least
you have
to
to
play
have at least one to tap onto it.
Right. That's
you don't have to have a specific one, but at least one. And then if you want the other levels, they have to be specific ones.
So, I don't know. Back to your question, I don't know what it means. Like Disney, when you go to the store and you see 19 million of those Skylanders, like, what the heck? Like, I don't even want them. They don't even look valuable to me. It's just a bunch of action figures, Amiibo appeals in a different way for persons like myself, where I'm like, well, I just want it because Wii Fit Trainer is like the funniest character of all time. So I gotta have it, like that kind of thing. So,
Eli, you know a lot about the business side of things. Do you have any input on this?
Yeah, so I was actually kind of surprised that this happened. I was surprised that they were taking a loss. However, as we can see, I think Activision and Skylanders consistently does really, really well every year, and I don't really know why that is. But they're literally making billions of dollars. And we see that every year. I think the problem with Disney Infinity is it probably got off to a really good start. And if I remember correctly, they were making money at the beginning. I just don't think it had the long-lasting legs, and people weren't willing to buy it every year. But somehow Activision has gotten together a crowd that's willing to buy its stuff every single year. And I think that's the difference between the two companies. And then on the Nintendo side, you're already seeing them drop off. They're releasing less Amiibo, and stuff like releasing a Kirby set of Amiibo is just kind of scraping at the bottom of the barrel. I think that sales for that are going to substantially drop off. And you know that they have already, because you can buy Animal Crossing Amiibo for $4 or $5 instead of 13, and instead of like 30 or $50 that the original Smash is going for. So I do think
figure out a way to make it valuable per each game they release, in the future. So yeah.
So I mean, and I can't imagine I already told myself I'm not buying Kirby on day one. I'm not buying the new Splatoon ones on day one. I'll wait until they are like $5 because that's what they are now. And Lego Dimensions, I'm getting started. I think that game is going to see a pretty slow death as well, because they said they're not going to release new games. They're just going to release figures. I think that's going to die as well pretty soon. I think that the bubble is burst. And unless Nintendo finds a way to really integrate it into the system, Activision is probably going to continue every year as it has been. But I probably see Lego Dimensions following soon afterwards.
That's interesting. So they, the rest of their content is going to be free? I guess you just have to buy the
No,
figure
not
then?
free, but they're just gonna. So like the other versions, you have to buy games every single year, like with Disney and with Activision Skylanders. But with Lego Infinity, Lego Dimensions, if you have the base set, then you're set. Period, and you can buy the new figurines, and they'll all work on it. You don't have to buy a new game every year. They said, I think they're gonna release content for it for 3 years.
So do you have to pay for those? Extra levels then, or you just buy the figure and it unlocks the levels?
Well, you'll just buy the figure and then it'll unlock the levels. So you don't need to buy, there's no new Lego Dimensions game coming this year. I think there's a new set, but not a new game.
Yeah. I actually think that's kind of, obviously I have no business experience, but that sounds like a smarter thing to me, because then someone doesn't have to go, I have to pay another $60 for this game just to update it. I can just buy the character I want and, play that.
It's level, one of those
Disney Infinity did for a couple of things, I think, but yeah, you still, if you wanted the major update, you had to buy a whole new disc.
Yeah, it's one of those things about expanding the user base, and it's good to have a large user base.
Yeah,
or install base.
Yeah, I think Nintendo has to release games with better Amiibo content, or else they are going to see it drop off, because like you said, like this podcast has shown, people are basically in it for the Smash Bros line, and after the Smash Bros line there's not really like where do you even go from there, because Smash Bros is basically every character they would ever release, and now they have to figure out how to make new versions of the same characters again. It's really weird.
Yeah, that's what I've always thought. For me, it was Smash. Why would I want the rest of these? I'm not that devoted. It's
because you have all the characters they would possibly release.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy another version of another character. It's I don't know, or I'm not right now anyway. Not anytime soon. So.
Yeah, the only thing.
I'm with Clem. Really, I don't care. I think they look cool. I literally have only opened 2, but some people like it. They are pretty cool, if you want to hang them up, but it's not, fun like Legos and all that. I don't really care if they don't make another Amiibo ever again.
Mm-hmm.
I got what I wanted, really, and, the support is really limited. It's not really something that you need. Sometimes I go, oh man, I wish I used the new 3DS, or I used my Amiibo. Then I go, I don't want to open it, or I really don't care.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think really the only way they can go from here, besides just, well, I guess they are probably just going to do characters in different poses and costumes, but the only real change I could see is doing specific variations, like a retro line, like an NES or Super Nintendo versions where it's pixelated, kind of like the classic Mario, probably just a 2D sprite kind of thing with Donkey Kong and Link and Zelda and Pit and Mario, etc., etc. But other than that, it's just I don't really know what else they could do. Just the characters in different costumes. There's not really much else, because all the art styles are the art styles they don't really change all that much, or at least significantly.
Wait, it's rumored that the alternate costumes are gonna make Amiibos coming in the summer. It's a rumor. It's
interesting.
I think it's fake anyway, but
no,
I think around August or if E3 they're gonna announce the alternate costume one, so you'll see a Fire Mario. But I doubt it. But it is a pretty good cash grab, because people are gonna be
yeah, there are some that they should do, the Koopa Kids and stuff like that are really obvious, So I hear that.
Yeah, it's such a good cash grab, because think about it, you're gonna be oh my god, that's my Mario color, and you're gonna buy it.
Yeah, totally.
All right, so I guess we will end it off there for this week. You can find me at the Mango Viking on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And Eli, where can people find you?
You can find my writing at NintendoEnthusiast.com, although I may be a little bit stalled since my computer decided to crap out this morning. I've also, you can find my content on that YouTube channel and at Paulosalon on Twitter.
Cool. Mike, where are you?
Alright guys, you can find me on Gaming Night Live, but we had our most recent video, 3 people you might find on the internet. I know Matt and Clay saw it, so shout outs to you guys. I think Joey got a good grade on it, and he's back home in, we didn't get a letter with a pink slip or anything. So, but thanks guys for everyone who watched it. We got more coming up. Like Joey's got more scripts written down, so hopefully we got more kind of stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I think we only promoted that in the Lost episode. So Mike did what was it called again? I forget the name of the video. It's like, 3 types of people you might be on the internet or something. What was the title?
Yeah. That's it. It's the 3 kind of. I can't remember the exact title. 3 types of people. Yeah, you'll find on the internet. So you find the casual, the troll. I'm not going to spoil all of them.
Yeah.
Your YouTube channel is Gaming Night Live for people that want to look at it. It is pretty funny, so people should check that out.
Definitely. So. It sounds like a BuzzFeed type video, but unlike BuzzFeed, it's funny. So don't let the title surprise you. It's funny. Go watch it.
Thanks, guys.
And Unoclay, where can people find you?
Well, since currently my IGN won't let me post status updates, it's tougher to say you'll find me on there. So until they fix the back-end technology that continuously keeps breaking like a ship sinking slowly into the sea, you can find me at galaxy2fanboy.net, where I'll be leading all kinds of discussions about how Mike is wrong and how...
That sounds like a terrible website.
Uno, you made a mistake.
I might call the IRS
the thing is,
try to get that.
the ship of my IGN has been sunk. It's just that you've been in denial a long time. You've been saying
I'm telling myself I'm going to come back to IGN, and then I do, and I go, man, this place sucks.
I got like 5 people I talk to on there. Come on, and Matt is one of them. So
yeah, but we also
I'm gonna make a comeback. I'm telling you guys. I'm gonna.
All right.
It's funny.
Thanks, guys.
Unoclay is finally like come to terms with it. He's like, yeah, no, I can't be optimistic this time. I can't even write any posts.
I
can't either. I don't know how other people post it.
I'll be rosy once they fix me. People have been getting access back this week, so I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful, guys. I'm hopeful.
I don't know how it screws up because there's no one actively working on it. So how did it go wrong?
Good time.
Oh gosh. All right, so that ends this week. Wherever you're listening, you can find us on Just Another Castle on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, iTunes, Podomatic, and IGN. So we'll see you next time, and remember, leave gaming to Nintendo.